Yeah, it's got the mobility factor against Razor, but it's also a hero that likes to build Lincolns. Lincolns feels a lot better in this meta right now than it has in a while. So being an early Lincolns pickup against Glimpse, Doom, and Static Link, those are three very key abilities to be able to shrug off. The one thing that I really feel like is missing, though, is I would like this pickup a lot more if this Tidehunter was an Earthshaker, or if this Snapfire was a Dark Willow. We don't have that Morphling combination. So
it's okay. The hero's able to do stuff alone. I would feel bad if there was a Shaker on instead of Tide, into a Razor.
Like the overall composition, your draft would suffer more, but just the Morphling pick itself would feel better.
He can Static Link though, right?
Yes.
Maybe if he gets a Static Link off, he can be like, no, you just take it back.
Yeah, that is certainly his best option right now.
You also take the Razor passive. That's important.
Wow.
I know.
That is the most impactful spell in Dota 2. I'd be pretty hyped to have that one.
Yeah.
But
God, what a boring passive. Please.
Yeah.
Ice Frog, change that.
Or add the Purge back to it. Add the Shard to the passive again like it used to be.
I'm gonna throw a wild hero at you right now, but I could see a really nice tiny pick for PuckChamp. Navi have so many heroes that just die to being comboed.
10 seconds remaining.
Fair.
Or just something that can. I'm thinking, because I was thinking at first it would be nice to have some sort of spirit that can be mobile around the map and stuff. But something that can jump Morphling instantly would also be really nice, because getting the Doom off early game before Blink Stomp on Doom, it's going to be hard to get the Morphling with that. He's probably going to get his Strength Morph off, right? Disruptor would have to ult from Fog. Something that could probably just surprise him would be really nice, but I'm not really sure what fulfills that.
Yeah, I'm okay with Void Spirit or Quap. There's two different options here.
Quap with the idea of rushing Orchid, or are you going for
with going for the Orchid build.
Okay.
They don't have overall last pick, so they are going to have to do this a little bit blind. They apparently think that it's Razor mid, and their potential of picking up a different carry.
It could go both ways, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, Lina. Yeah. Lina was a good option as well.
That's the burst that you were asking for, and Stun from Fog with Lina is...
Yeah, she also goes Shadow Blade nowadays anyway.
True. Illidan build.
Way.
And she scales super nicely. I feel like in some ways this meta may turn into these semi-carries that actually can go later. So that's why I really like Razor, for example. Lina feels really good right now for the same reason. It's just these heroes have naturally strong mid games, and they have just enough scaling that you can build real items on them. And they farm so quickly that you get 6-slotted Lina, and she's hitting like a truck. She's doing a bunch of physical damage, and you're like, aren't you an intelligence hero? It's supposed to be tempo. No.
They could do some tempo pick here, actually, speaking of. Maybe a TA. Maybe then they are the ones controlling Roshan.
I see what your whole draft...
Roshan.
My draft idea, I'm thinking.
Oh.
That's pretty great. It's not...
So it's a Doom mid, which is a staple of this region, to be honest.
Yeah. Where's Iceberg at?
Yeah.
Beastmaster, huh?
I actually think it's so weird. I feel like Bane and Morphling have more than enough damage, because you can adaptive strike the boars and the Bane's brains. It's not gonna be hard to clear boars, I feel like, for those two heroes. But maybe what they're aiming for here is we are running you over with Razor IO, and here is our tower push, and we're just gonna kill you in 20 minutes. They're not even gonna let this Morphling come online.
Beastmaster also doesn't like Tidehunter sitting in the way of him. But maybe this Tidehunter won't feel good about that because he's already been addressed by Doom Disruptor, right? Yeah. You can't be that wall just sitting there being you can't go on me, otherwise I'm going to Dispel and use Ravage.
But if they are set up, if Ty gets Ravage off and Kisses come out, I find it really hard for them to fight into that, because Kisses is really far back. He's going to get it off. They need maybe...
Absolutely perfect.
Just something that can aid in that fight. Is there any spirits left? There's Void Spirit,
Void Spirit and
Ember as well. I feel like one of those would just be really nice. Maybe Ember Spirit. Able to break Link from Razor. I mean, you're gonna suffer from getting doomed and disrupted no matter what you pick, right? Maybe.
I mean, you could go for the tiny idea or the DK idea, these heroes that don't suffer from that.
Yeah. Is Lesh bad against? It's kind of bad.
The Ember.
That's okay. Yeah. Just something that can jump in when this Ravage and Kisses happen. and be able to like kill Beastmaster and stuff, because they have a lot of squishy heroes that die in a fight like that.
Yeah, another, like, it's the more mobile of the two spirits as well, right? Between the Void Spirit and the Ember. Like, the Ember can play a little bit more around, especially later on when he gets Ags, because he just has to be able to dance around and keep out of that Primal Roar. That's his biggest threat, that and Doom. The another mobile hero that stays out of Razor's way, and can, I think, pretty importantly, split push the map. I think that may be really important here, because Tide Morphling is a bit slow. And I'm afraid that a Beastmaster lineup is going to roll you over. So I think that is going to be a pretty crucial factor. Not totally set on PuckChamp's last pick of Beastmaster, but I like everything that led up to it, honestly. I thought their drafting was really strong up until this last pick.
Thank you, Cam. I agree with everything you said.
Okay.
I think you covered every base.
Wonderful. Our panel is in full agreement. Let's see if our casters agree as well. They want to preserve their jobs. Okay, it's going to be GoDz and lizZard this time.
Thank you, Avo. It is indeed GoDz lizZard here for game number 2. We've got PuckChamp versus NaVi. And lizZard, first thing I noticed, PuckChamp going for the same opener, NaVi. They think they've got maybe an answer in store for this IO Razor opener.
Yeah, they went with the same opener, but they switched it up a little bit. Now Doom is mid lane, Beastmaster is off lane, so they get some more aggressive potential from Malik. I guess they really love their Razor, right? That's it. And why not? It looked really good in that last game.
Yeah, and you got to imagine these teams have all been scrimming, practicing a lot. When they find the strat that works for them, they're going to stick with it, because you only play 7 BO3s. I feel like everyone always highlights with the DPC League format is every series matters so much.
Yeah, for sure. So you don't really have a lot of time to experiment. You just take what you've practiced, like you just said, and you try and perfect it, right? It's the arguably best approach. Meanwhile, for NaVi, they had to try out something new, because the way they played last time wasn't really great. And I believe this draft allows them to go back to the old school ways a little bit easier. You have a straight up solo hard carry on that Morphling. You have a solo playing the Bane, that's one of his staple heroes, right? He'll be able to dominate the lane. You most importantly have this combo on the off lane. Yep, Tidehunter isn't really... Like they said, he's a little bit slow, but when comboed with Snapfire, he can be kind of dangerous. You can see Snapfire already starting with Blightstone, Gush level 1, Blightstone, Lil Shudder. That's a ton of minus armor. So.
Solo getting the early game victory over PuckChamp, secures the room with the click battle. 3 out of 4 runes going NaVi's way. Very minor thing, but psychological boost.
No, for sure. If you get 4 runes, game is over, right? You instantly win. That's how it goes.
Yeah, good thing PuckChamp. They secured the 1. That's the most important thing. But 3 for 1. It's particularly for some of these mid laners can make a difference with those bottle timings. But Doom probably not a hero where that little bit of gold is going to make a massive change on the lane.
Yeah, definitely. This is a different beast completely. You get that Devour, you eat the range creep, you just kind of chill. Versus Ember, it shouldn't be too difficult for him to have complete free farm plus some extra creep that he's going to devour from the jungle.
Yeah. Unlike the Doom from last game, this Doom not thinking twice, instantly leveling Devour. Obviously, mid Doom a little bit different, but last time was a little bit longer. Wow, that damage. Duke Callus gets instantly brought down to 20 health from a Gush plus Lil Shredder.
Io isn't really the hero that has the highest base armor as well.
Yeah.
So Lil Shredder plus Gush, and he's dropping real low real fast.
Yep.
Needs to be careful.
Seems like Navi have found maybe a better response to this IO Razor lane, which is playing a bit more aggressive with what they pick, and so far so good.
Yeah, I feel like you have to do it very early on, and you have to make sure that you get level 2 a bit faster, which you aren't at the moment at least. It would have been very abusable. Like if they got level 2 earlier, they could even get the first blood very easily with a Cookie, Lil Shredder, Gush.
Yep.
A lot of kill potential.
They don't manage to find that kill opening, but even so, the harass and the damage being dished out as we take a peek at some of these other lanes. Mid lane, Doom, Ember, Farm War. No one, I believe, trying to make those aggressive plays to farm the enemy small. We saw this last game in the Puck where he was going for that greedier style, farming these small camps. And Ember a good hero to do that on.
I love how Doom took Chain Lightning Creep, the little harpy, and he's just spamming no one. It's very annoying. By the way, he went for a bottle.
On the Doom?
Yeah, even on mid Doom, it's not something that
Okay.
you necessarily see every single game, right? It's not, because it's just not that necessary. However, when you think about the meta and the way the mid lane is played, of course, you're going to have runes all the time. It's necessary.
And perhaps thinking he's just going to get harassed a bit more because of the Flame Guard build that's coming out. So he's, you know, he's getting brought down fairly low every now and then.
Yeah, for sure. How's top lane going so far?
I've seen a lot of harass back and forth, but nothing too crazy. Right now, let's see. Beastmaster 11-2, Morphling 11. I mean, even on CS, do you feel like either lane should be doing better in top?
No, not necessarily until Malik is level 3, then the lane kind of goes their way a little bit easier, right? You get that level 2 Bob, level 2 Boar, and then it's easier to harass the Bane and the Morphling.
As for Disruptor, holding that second skill point for now, no Glimpse or Kinetic Field. See where he goes, and also at level 3 whether he gets that second point in Thunderstrike, which occasionally Disruptors will go, particularly the 4 position. We're seeing a lot more of the Disruptor. Is this like the patch in the meta that where Disruptor you feel like is kind of shining a bit more?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like he is, I believe, one of the most picked position.
He got the solo kill? Ooh, okay. Pops the Fairy Fire, forces a TP, so well, or at least a TP cast. Doesn't end up going through with it, but I believe that was a Aloha Dance on the Snapfire, who now is going to go for a kill down bottom. Razor Krillette in all sorts of trouble. Perhaps he was thinking, or he's thinking that his Ire to back him up, and the Ire is actually going to save his life for now. Dukes through the trees with the Plasma Field, gets slowed up by the Gush. Lil Shredder coming up in a couple of seconds. The body blocks from Ducalis. Aloha Dance gets nice and close. He's going to need another Gush, perhaps. Doesn't get there for the Anchor Smash, and he does get back to safety.
Ducalis really got there in the nick of time, saving the Razor. I feel like they could have went for a Wisp, right? The moment Io uses Tether, mid lane.
Oh,
hold that, yeah.
There's aggression in all lanes. Up top, we're seeing them get pretty low as well. But yeah, Youngji's really trying to use this Chain Lightning to go for these kills. Both mid lanes getting incredibly low.
He needed literally one more, and he doesn't have enough mana to use it.
And it's Ember who had the Sal out, so it looks like Doom is going to have to head back to base. Doesn't have the regen to stick around this lane, so bit of a win there for no one, at least for now, although the overall gold is leading PuckChamp's way.
Yeah, and if you look at mid lane net worth, it's like 600 advantage for Doom, so
yeah,
he's having a really good time devouring creeps. Usually if you don't find this creep, you aren't able to harass Ember as much. It's really lucky of him to get the Harpy.
A big difference on how his lane goes, and we'll see how no one approaches this. He's about to hit level 6, and that 6-minute rune that we always kind of, I feel like, talk about with the current meta, like supports trying to secure their mid lane as these power runes. That's going to be coming up soon, and Ember, the hero that makes the most use of the power runes compared to the Doom.
For sure, and you can see Bane already rotating to make sure that Ember gets a rune. There's a Doom online, but without an additional hero, you can't really take down Ember. You don't have a level that, I mean, Infernal Blade. I just went back 15 years.
Hey, he's got it back again, right?
Yeah, actually, you're right.
As it stands, this Razor, I kind of look down at him as bottom lane. I'm surprised. It feels like every time we've looked at bottom, Razor and I have been getting pressure, but Razor is farming away. Like, he's actually not being contested too much.
Yeah, he's getting all the last hits necessary on bottom lane. And maybe...
Oh, tries to dodge the cookie by running back in, but yeah.
Classic.
Alright, my caster curse still working. It's not just yours.
We were just checking them, that's all. Mid lane, there's a sleep on him, but there's no kill. Like, you can't make this play.
No. And he's the one who got the rune. So he has this illusion rune to get out of the Searing Chains as well. Not that Searing Chains has even been leveled up, so... There's definitely no kill without the Searing Chains.
Yeah, or an additional hero, right? Someone like a Snapfire needs to rotate in. Then that minus armor really kicks in. Phase boots aren't as effective.
This top lane is about to maybe fall apart for Na'Vi, though. This Beastmaster's helm is going to be coming out. Morphling's already just fallen back to the jungle with the Morbid Mass, so it seems like the call has been made that maybe they just want to kind of give this lane up, unless there's some kind of Ember rotation.
He's moving back in because of the huge wave that's going under the tower.
Yeah.
So this is all right, but this is probably the last wave he takes on the lane. After this, you see the helm, and you kind of have to rotate out.
Like you say, he wants to get that little bit more, and they're playing aggressive on the PuckChamp side. They kind of spot the Bane, but meanwhile, bottom lane, Aloha Dance gets caught out, but has got the TP to escape. So one of the weaknesses of IO Razor, no stuns, easy TP out.
There's a medallion already on the Snapfire, so that little bit of extra armor helped him out. Meanwhile, with that medallion now, they can decide where to go. There's General going after the Callus, but that illusion rune. Oh man, that came in handy.
Yeah. And its Tide's even leveled up, Gush. He has a second point, so they're going very kind of single target aggressive with the build there.
Okay, he's about to hit 6, and he gets Arcane Ring perfect for his General. I think this should be the situation in which, as Razor, you might have to leave the lane once you scout the Ravage, right? Yeah.
Oh, and particularly
if not leave
with
it,
this rotation.
if not leave it, at least farm a little bit around the jungle and slowly move away from it.
They seem to know something is up. Maybe because of how General's playing, or just the fact this Ember has been missing from mid lane for such a long time. So they're going to back off farm the jungle, and even Young G's kind of playing... Okay, Young G's coming over to get this Purge creep, I guess, but yeah, playing around each other. So they know it's danger time, and they're going to give up this bottom tier 1 tower, it seems like, as they try and take a top tier 1 tower themselves. They're pushing much faster on the side of PuckChamp.
Yeah,
Do you think either team looks to defend these towers, or is it just like, let these offlane towers go?
Yeah, I think you just let them go. You aren't looking... if you think about it, you have Doom on mid lane, and he has Arcane Rune. He actually could use this Arcane Rune to Doom someone, but there's no true setup. You kind of need this either Beastmaster with you, or the Disruptor with you. Disruptor doesn't really have levels, so he doesn't want to rotate, and Beastmaster doesn't want to leave top because he's just having complete free time.
Yep, as a result, we see both teams, the Doom Razor, the heroes in that mid-bottom area of the map, just happy to farm their jungles and maybe wait for some of these level 6s to come out on the supports. Disruptor's still a bit of a ways off. He's got his lane now. And similarly on the Dire side, support level 6 is going to be key here, as Aloha Dance getting very close on the Snapfire. Bane a level away, but he'll be having that Tome of Knowledge at the 10-minute mark, so perhaps potential for some fights to break out.
There's the Arcane use. Yeah, I'm not really gonna get a lot from it. He's getting really good runes.
He's getting gold. If he Midases with the Arcane Rune, that's the dream.
Oh, he's getting the Midas, right? Oh, that feels good.
Perfect. There we go. No neutrals, no big neutrals to Midas, but he's happy, just to make sure he uses it during the Arcane. Plus he'll get some Devours off. All the money coming his way. I
expect they will park General very soon in front of one of these lanes. Top lane.
Solo. Yep. They wake up the Hellbear with Bob, and he should be going down on the Bane. He lets the creeps do the dirty work as the TP rotation came from the Morphlake, but that's just kind of the cleanup farm here, knowing that Roar was on cooldown. He can farm a bit safer. Mid lane, meanwhile, whoa! They committed the Mortimers. Yeah, I didn't see. I guess the haste rune just managed to get away from them, so...
I think Aloha Dance expected Ravage, and that was definitely miscommunication, because if you're committing Mortimers, you have to commit Ravage for you to get that kill, right? So.
And the level 1 Searing Chains, perhaps not a long enough duration.
100%. Because they scouted the haste, there's no way you don't see it. Maybe they didn't click, but... That's far-fetched.
I'm sure Ty was worried. Like, if you Ravage and he hastes away from the expanding tentacles, it's not a good look.
For sure.
Well, here comes the smoke mid. The second time's the charm. They just go straight into the grip. No one to back him up to cancel this one. And the damage, is it going to be there? You betcha. They get one.
I just love the tether out, like TP's in, like I got you. He didn't even die. Wisp is just tethering away. I mean, it's the right move. If he tethered the Doom, he dies as well.
Well, they will want to defend this tier 1 mid, I've got to imagine. Razor using that plasma field on the front lines. Going for the same build, has that Falcon Blade to start things off. BKB queued up next. So no deviations coming in from Krillat. And yeah, things seem to be going pretty well for PuckChamp from my perspective. Do NaVi need to keep making these aggressive plays, or have they got some kind of, you know, the obvious late game timing with Morphling? How do they get Morphling online?
Well, I would say the same thing like in the last game. I feel like they might have the better late game as long as their cores don't get easily doomed, right?
Okay.
And this time around you have Ember and Morphling, and these aren't heroes that are easy to doom. However, bottom lane...
Static Storm. Have they got the damage for this one? The follow-up from the relocate was a little bit too late, perhaps. And I think they may just have to let Astral go. And yeah, they're going to relocate their way back on out, so...
He was actually saving the glimpse. He used his Morph form into Disruptor, and he was trying to glimpse Io or the Razor, but they just went into the trees, so he didn't have vision.
Well, not a successful rotation, but looking to be a bit more successful in the mid lane as they bring in the Beastmaster to take out the T1 tower. They just doom the Tide to stop the Ravage and even look for this kill, perhaps. Will they commit hard for this one? The Static Link is there, but great Nightmare from Solo instantly helping disjoin it as Ducalis getting brought low, does have a tether on out, but he's going to get brought down before he can get too far away. And Krillat gets caught by Searing Chains. He's in some trouble as well. He gets brought low, and with the Fire Remnant in, no one is looking to finish him off, and will do so with the Sleight of Fist. Arcane Rune Ember, it's a scary thought, and he's not done. He's still chasing for more, but he's a bit low on mana, so looks like NaVi won't get anything more in terms of hero kills, but if they get a T1 mid-tower, that's fantastic for them.
If you click on Tide, you'll see that he has a hood already, right? And besides that, he has Chipped West. It's very difficult to take him down even with Doom early on in the game. And that's what you're supposed to be doing as a Tide Hunter. You sit in front of the tower and you soak in all the aggression. I'm actually surprised that they tried so hard to go for him.
Yeah.
It's literally what cost them this team fight.
It seemed like, you know, not like a huge mistake, but like, you know, something okay. Like dooming him seemed okay. Like as long as they didn't hard commit to kill him. Like they could have doomed taken the tower and backed off.
I agree completely. You doom him, you take the tower, you take the objective, and then you try and disengage.
Yeah.
They don't really have the same catch like Disruptor does, right? So you should be able to disengage, but they just hard committed, took the tower, but lost a few heroes.
NaVi going to continue looking to commit themselves for these kills. Ember has managed to string together a nice couple of runes. Arcane into a hasty. Should be able to chase down Astral here with a couple more Sleight of Fists. No escape. Nice find. And they're not done. They've got to sleep on another kill. They're looking for that +1. You got to imagine they're going to get it with a Fiend's Creep. No doubt about it. Down goes Ducalis.
Just getting one kill after another, and you don't really want to be... Of course, any team doesn't want to be in a position in which their heroes are dying, but especially PuckChamp, when you consider that in that last game they had full control in the mid game, right? Off of the 3 BKBs, they were just constantly dominating the map. They had this snowball effect to them. They don't really have that here, and they also don't have the superior late game unless this Doom really kicks in very soon. And he will have Doom and BKB in pretty much a minute.
Yeah, we'll see if that's going to be the go time for PuckChamp. But now they're looking at this mid lane perhaps, but Aloha Dance not juicy enough for them to want to hard commit on. They're waiting for their BKB timings, not just on the Doom, but Krillat on his Razor very close, so double BKB is going to be up soon, and it's got to imagine they're going to be the ones looking to control the map Roshan at that point. Does feel like, you know, despite getting that early 2-1 tower, it's been a tough game for Malik's Beastmaster because of this Tide pick, so not the easiest hero to play Beastmaster into.
Yeah, Tide Hunter, if you remember even the Lycan patch, Lycan plus Beastmaster, he was always picked against them if possible. Yeah. It's just one of those heroes that can stand and defend versus all the summons, so... like you said, it's not that simple for Malik to just take objectives, but he will find free farm in any case.
Are you liking the current position of this game for either of these teams a bit more, or...?
I think I like it. PuckChamp is 1k ahead, but I think I like it a bit more for NaVi. Now it's on them to actually play better than in the last game and play around the map a little bit faster, set up vision, which they do arguably have at the moment. One will get rewarded, but I like it.
Yeah.
Morphling with the Lincolns as well, right? It's
a
pretty decent spot.
The Doom just doesn't feel like it's going to be as easy to have that big impact we saw. They've got ways to break it. Glimpse, one of the better ways to break. It does force you to use Glimpse, but it is a very easy way to break a Lincoln's. One thing that seems to be going well for Navi is this constant river control. They're able to secure all these runes for Ember as well, so making no one's game a lot better when you can have all these power runes.
Yeah, and this time around, if you look at the Radiant wards, are there any on the map? I don't think so.
Yeah, they're being
I don't think
dewarded,
there are.
Just not planted.
They're just in much better control this time around than Navi.
Well, we'll see what PuckChamp can do. Double BKBs are up once Razor gets his courier out. But Navi making a bit of a swing towards top. It's just a regen rune, so not the best rune to fight with for no one.
The only thing that I like is they didn't go for Rush. They have Medallion, they have Gush, but
that was their downfall last game. Solo leading the way. He is very far forward here. He's got to be careful because could be a juicy target if they want to blow someone up with a roar. Malik, yeah, he is going to go for that roar. Can they kill off Solo to start things off? It's going to be close with the Ravage there onto 2. But Io heals them back up with the Holy Locket. Whoa. Bit of a lag spike there. Yeah, I felt that one too. I think everyone felt that one.
Yep.
And that's 2 supports down for... I don't know if Navi want to take this fight. They've committed Ravage and lost 2 already.
Yeah, this is... You just need to get out. Yeah. Solo, I can see what he was doing there. And if you're playing versus a team that doesn't have an IO, it would work. But you're playing versus a Relocate.
They know General doesn't have a TP, I believe. Or they at least know where he blinked. They're... Yeah. There we go.
They know now.
They're gonna leash him up, get all that juicy damage, and imagine bring him down. They need vision. Okay, he blinks again. They know where he is. Okay, they see him too.
Come on, put the Quelling Blade in the inventory, General.
Yeah. Like try and juke. There we go. Phase boots away. He's not getting another blink.
He definitely bought enough time for everyone on his team to be a bit happier about that kill, right? So
yeah.
At least they are getting something out of it, but really poorly done by Navi once again. They're just pressing the matter a little bit too hard.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they didn't scout the Razor's BKB, but it does seem like the worst timing to go for a fight like that when there's double BKB just freshly bought for PuckChamp.
And your full team wasn't there, right? It was literally Solo who went in, Mortimer's Kisses following up, Tidehunter somewhere in the trees, but Ember and Morphling, they were still catching up. That was the problem. Morphling was TPing to the tier 2. So, yeah, a little bit of a disconnect when it comes to how fast you need to be there, because it's a different fight if you instantly blow up Razor in a Ravage before he BKBs or something like that, right?
This time around, it's going to be Young G getting himself a rune, gets a nice Arcane rune for the Doom, and Roshan is the key objective for both these teams in some way. Beastmaster not a bad hero to secure it, as Navi have to be a little bit wary of PuckChamp themselves going to that Roche pit.
And they will, right? Right now, they have BKBs back up.
Yep.
They have Doom, they have Roar. Meanwhile, they know that there's no Ravage yet, so...
25
it's the perfect
seconds.
time to go in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got to imagine, these pro teams, they time that usually basically to the second, so... They should have an idea that there's no Ravage for maybe another 10 seconds or so, but Roshan is not dying all that quickly. The scan is going to see Navi coming, and they're going to throw out the kisses and look to contest this one. Out of the pit they attempt to go, but they get caught by a 2-hero Searing Chains. They don't want to BKB. They take a lot of damage before they do. They try and get onto Solo, and with the Static Link taking a lot of damage here, it's just a Razor kill.
Ravage.
Their BKBs are down. Blink Ravage coming in. General, he's got it. He catches out 2, including the IO, blowing up the Razor, and they want more with the Ember going in on the backlines. He gets glimpsed away, though. 5x coming in from Razor, the Static Storm onto the Morphling. They get the Doom out as well. This Morphling in trouble, trying to deny himself to Roshan, won't be successful. And Navi, maybe once again, biting off a bit more than they can chew, even with the BKBs being baited out. They don't quite get the result they were looking for with this team fight.
What happened to Morph? Like, this fight, by the way, looking at it from distance, is 100% Navi's win. Like, you should be winning this fight. You baited out 2 BKBs for a Bane and Mortimer's Kisses. You managed to Ravage afterwards. But the Ravage perhaps only catching Razor and him buying back wasn't that great. Still though, I don't see how Morphling got doomed so easily. It's just one of those things that probably shouldn't happen, and he was a little bit too confident because they already killed a couple of them, but yeah.
I think he like just, when he saw the Ravage, he just jumped in, and then Disruptor was there waiting with a Static Storm in. It was a pretty easy doom in the end, so not quite the outcome Navi were hoping for. Is once again it's going to be a key Roshan fight going the way of PuckChamp.
It's really not working for them when it comes to Roshans. Even though I felt like this might be the same scenario like in the first game, in which one team is trying for Rosh and then the other just scoops in and takes it for themselves.
Well, for Navi, we'll see them probably slow things down a bit now. They have got that E-Blade on Morphling, so a lot of pick-off potential, but playing into an Aegis Razor, always going to be a tricky ask. Even killing this Io is getting harder and harder. He just goes straight into a Hood of Defiance to just give him some extra survivability against the Mortimers, against the E-Blade.
Yeah, that Hood and Holy Locket, right? It's just a lot of sustainability on their side. BKBs galore. Astral actually has Eul Scepter completed.
And PuckChamp, they smoke up. They're looking to get an initiation. They've got that relocate to bring all 5 heroes. Can Beastmaster get the roar he's looking for? Hawk goes flying out. Dive bomb. Ooh! He was looking for the Ember there. Instead, they're going to get the Snapfire. That was close.
Yeah, still not necessarily what they were looking for, but really good reaction times from no one. Like, getting away from the dive bomber. Yeah, he's not a boomer like everyone is saying.
Yeah, there's been some doubts, you know. He's not maybe the like the top mid laner in the world that he was maybe, you know, 2 or 3 years ago during Virtus Pro's prime, but he's still got it. But
there's a refresher again on Razor being built, by the way.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned it earlier. They didn't really move away from their opener when it comes to the drafts, and the item build is pretty much identical.
Well, once again, we see these runes being key, being denied away there from the Ember, wanting that Arcane rune, but it's Navi. What's the play going to be? They've got Ravage back up if they want to make a move, but this Age is still being online for a couple more minutes. May deter them from any aggression.
Yeah, they don't have a smoke at the moment as well. I think it might be flying. Oh, it's not flying out. They don't have one, so probably you just wait and try and buy your time until Aegis is gone.
And these Hawks, the vision game being something PuckChamp have used so well, constantly scouting out these Navi movements, helping them find some pickoffs here. But the Hawk being killed, and they have smoked up, so we'll see if PuckChamp risk a move into that enemy Ancients area. It looks like they want to go for it. They put down an Observer Sentry. No dire vision to scout those wards being planted, so this smoke still unbeknownst to Navi, who are somewhat grouped up near this bottom lane. Will they go running back into their Ancients? Good wrap. Yeah. And they're going to find General. Oh, he doesn't get the blink off, but he has got the 4-star. He'll have a blink in a couple of seconds, but
there's the glimpse.
Yeah. Glimpse him back into a Static Storm. This means they've still got the Doom for the Morphling. Great job holding the Doom here. Mortimer's coming out, but that's not going to lead to a whole lot. And Malik's actually looking to see what he can find, but they'll happily just farm these enemy Ancients. So they use a Static Storm for the Tide and keep the Doom.
Yeah, I think you're completely satisfied. You got the Static Storm used, sure, but you didn't use any of the BKBs on the side of PuckChamp. Yeah. Like Doom still has his, same goes for the Razor, so you just got a freebie.
And something you've had a lot is the vision and the ward game. It feels like moves like that, yeah, maybe it's just one kill, but it's keeping up so much vision too.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Every time they use the smoke, they use it in a way in which allows them to get more vision. But it's a little bit easier in this game. You are playing with the Beastmaster, so it's definitely much harder for Solo and the crew to keep up with the vision that PuckChamp is putting on the map.
Navi, perhaps knowing where PuckChamp just was for that move, are going to come back into their Ancients area, do some dewarding. as Aegis will expire now. So perhaps now is go time for NaVi, although they have got a BKB on V-Tunes Morphling coming out, another 1,500 gold, so something they may want to consider waiting a little bit longer for.
They have a BKB coming up on him, but there's a halberd completed on Doom. So this Linken's doesn't really save you any longer. There's smoke.
NaVi feeling like this is their time. Morphs coming line. It's 9 kills apiece, although PuckChamp have been the one that controls. No one leading the way. Has the Linken Sphere on the front line. Sleight of Fist will scout the Doom, but they being revealed here. Now they're going to have the Linken's pop, so no one's going to play very cautiously.
Oh, Malik?
Yeah.
That was a misclick, right? There's no... Yeah, there's... Every time he makes a mistake, he uses the same voice line, the whoops one, so...
The whoops into the get back.
Yep.
As far as mistakes go, that's pretty low on the list, because they'd already put themselves in a good position by scouting out the smoke of NaVi, and NaVi didn't get a good initiative. They're not even afraid. They say BKB and Beastmaster's down, no problem. We're going to smoke up and catch NaVi by surprise, although Aloha Dance in a pretty good position to pop this smoke. Tide blinks away, and they may just leave Snapfire to the Wolves. Will NaVi force this fight? Glimpse back, they may just let Snapfire die. Raw on the backlines. They've caught 2, they've caught Solo as well. So they get both supports, and NaVi just very discombobulated. They go in with a Blink Ravage. That catches 5! Can they take this fight? 3 versus 5. I'm not sure this is the play if you're NaVi. If anything, Razor's saying thank you very much. They've caught V-Tune. He's got no escape. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's one of those plays. You're a Tide Hunter, you see 5 heroes clamped up. Let's go, boys! You jump in, and then you're like, boys? Boys? There's no one. There was, no pun intended, but there was literally just no one in the Morphling, so... Yeah, it was a difficult fight to take. You're trying to blow up the Razor, who isn't necessarily the tankiest hero, and E-Blade usually does the trick, but he has this pesky Wisp behind him with the mech, with the Holy Locket.
Yeah, you've got to blow him up during the Ravage stun duration, which, you know, is a pretty tall ask. Because if you don't, he's getting Tether Mech Holy Locket. There's like instantly like 700-800 burst heal, so... Plus he's going to pop his BKB.
And that's 20 seconds before Rosh responds. Or at least that's the minimum timer, right? Yeah, the minimum is 20 seconds, never mind. So it isn't that bad for NaVi. They might not lose Roshan off of that.
Oh yeah, hasn't lost something yet. I think where I look at that, I'm a little concerned. It's just like the decision to go for that seems a little suspect, and that to me just speaks to this NaVi team, like, you know, not quite being where they need to be for the start of this DPC league when they're making kind of bad teamfight decisions like that.
Yep, I agree. At the same time, what I'm worried about is, okay, this Ravage play that you've done, arguable. Yeah, you got 5-man Ravage, you didn't manage to blow up the Razor, and most likely, even if you do, you're going to lose all 3 heroes, right? But what worries me is the way they set up perimeter around the high ground where they have control. Like, they didn't know that Beastmaster didn't have BKB, so disregard that. But every time they're on high ground, they just allow PuckChamp to walk up on them. They aren't really waiting there with, let's say, General Tidehunter first. The moment you step on high ground, you're getting Ravaged to your face, right? And then you follow up with Mortimer's Kisses, with Ember, cutting the backlines. No, it's always Bane and Grimstroke being caught first, eliminated, and then it's easy for PuckChamp to take a team fight.
Yeah, it's definitely been, I mean, yeah, with these supports dead, it's been so tricky for NaVi, and it's, yeah, like you say, Solo in the front lines on the Bane, the Snapfire, and not a recipe for success. Because, you know, in my head, I feel like Tide and Ember are pretty good heroes to have on that front line. Ember is very elusive. He's not going to die when he's got a Linken, and Tide, obviously, he's Tide. He's tanky.
Yeah, even Morphling, like any one of these 3 heroes. I guess what they worried of is Hawks, but Solo is doing a good job when it comes to putting up sentries and wards around the high ground that they're trying to protect.
It's definitely a tough game for like someone like a Tide to frontline, because there are multiple spells that can like basically bypass his Kraken with both Doom and Static Storm. Plus, I mean, Static Link as well. Obviously, that's not going to kill you by itself, but there's stuff that you're not just, it's not like they're regular stuns that you can just Kraken off.
Yeah. It's a difficult situation to be in, just putting the 2 supports up front. like you said, a bit sus.
I feel like PuckChamp just making all the right moves. They're playing together. They're finding all the right pickoffs. Even now, playing the map so well. They're grouped up around that Roshan pit while they have that Black Dragon pushing bottom. They're using that Beastmaster creep just to be very efficient and keep the pressure up on NaVi.
Dire are scanning.
And so easy for him to push, right? Just one fireball, moves away, fireball, moves away.
Yep. We'll hide it for now while I'm not looking to feed it off, but well, it looks like it will get caught out. Poor Helm Creep.
So Rosh is up in 50 seconds. They still have double damage bottled on Razor. He has Refresher.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a very easy one for PuckChamp, but Navi also they do have all their spells up and ready.
Yeah, and you've got to imagine they're going to want to contest a Roshan with it being Rosh number 2. But
Yeah, and in your head right now, if you're Navi, this is literally how you're thinking. You're thinking, there's no way we kill anyone unless we kill Io first, right? This is...
yeah.
Ember, no one please go back, find him, and then we'll kind of follow up with Ravage and whatnot, with E-Blade.
We'll see if they can make that happen. Rays are going to go running in solo, just on a solo mission into enemy territory there. That's... you know, that's always been a bit of his play. Get those aggressive wards up, sometimes throw away his life, but I feel like you're not in a position where you can afford to do that because PuckChamp is just going to now run at you and look to take a fight. One less here to worry about.
I feel if you're able to force a couple of BKBs like he did last time around the pit, then it's fine. But when you're just running uphill the way he did, trying to plant a ward perhaps, then it becomes questionable.
It was the Razor's BKB used, but he's got a second one if he needs it with the Refresher. And well, I'm not even sure Navi's going to make a play on this Roshan. They have got all their spells up though, so with Bane respawning, you've got to imagine they're at least considering it, but by the position of their heroes, it looks like they have no thought at all about contesting Roshan.
Yeah, not really the fastest rush though, right? It's taking a lot of time, but like you said, Navi just chilling, waiting for a couple of new items perhaps to come online. I'm not sure because Morphling isn't getting the Skadi very soon. General will have his Aghanim, so that's a small difference they'll have in their fights.
I think similar to last game, they're giving the Io the Ag Shard as well, so getting that tether stun. Last game that made the PA's life difficult. This game around, it's something that Morphling has to be a bit wary of if he's waveforming in, or even Ember. Like, that's just one of those stuns you just often don't expect.
Exactly. You just forgot about that. That's what got patched out years ago.
5 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one more thing to have on your mind. As Navi will find themselves on the back foot, and PuckChamp have been so good about playing this map. They're looking for a raw down bottom. They'll get it. That's surely a kill with a relocate in. Relocate comes a second later, goes for the TP out, but he's got the follow-up.
Yeah, that was probably a kill even without the reload, right? Just with the stun from Call of the Wild Hawk should be able to get him.
Relocate back, Io. Back towards the mid lane, but he's...
You were going to die. Even with the Blink Dagger, they will catch you.
And they've known this Beast has had a Blink for a while, so it does seem like one of those, okay, I'm going to force him back. Like, Beastmaster had to TP down there, which means he's not playing the top side of the map. He's not pushing, so...
For sure. Yeah.
It doesn't seem like a mistake. It seems very calculated.
Yeah, it was. That's how I justify all my feeding. Very calculated.
Yep. Well, that's what Astral's saying right now. He's like, I've got a Philosopher's Stone. I'm still making money while I'm dead. You know, it's all part of the plan. Morphling's courier, by the way, scouted by this Hulk, so... How are they going to kill his courier? Maybe waiting for it to buy something so you can kill it and remove those items from the game.
Yeah, Morphling's life is going to become increasingly difficult. There's a Shiva's on Doom. There's a Skadi on Razor. There's also that Philistone that you talked about on Disruptor. He almost has Aghanims. 500 gold away.
There's pretty game-changing items at times. Blink, Hoofstomp mid, they got the Doom. Young G caught no one unawares. He couldn't get a Remnant or a Sleight of Fist before that Centaur stun caught him, and they've got a follow-up. It's General. Tries to force up himself away, but he gets glimpsed back in, and 2 kills, and this time around it's not the supports, it's the big boys of NaVi.
Yep, they just get a good pick off on the Ember first with the Doom. Again, Tidehunter tries to help out a little bit, save your friend syndrome or something like that, and gets glimpsed back, killed off. And they aren't really buying a lot of time for themselves if they're feeding at the same time, because this Razor, we've seen what he can do in the last game.
Yeah, he does not fall off, and if anything gets scarier and scarier with these late game talents and late game items pick up. They are diving in deep. They're like, you've got no Ember, no Tide, we're going to try force those buybacks or just take a free kill.
And it feels so good, this Hex that Malik bought, like it's helping them quite a bit getting all these pickoffs now. The map, like you see this Beastmaster, he has a Hex and the Helm of Overlord. Yeah. He's huge. He's first on net worth.
That's actually, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, with the Helm just split pushing lanes, he's been constantly getting all this extra farm, and they'll take a mid full lane of Rex, uncontested.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, out of all these players on PuckChamp, I think the only one that's nearly as boomer as I am is Malik on the Beastmaster, so that kind of feels good. He's the only one that played while I was still playing, like, what, 4 or 5 years ago. He was always good, just never in the right team-ups, never in the right stacks.
Well, and for PuckChamp, like, you know, the staying together partially as a team kind of paying off a bit here. Like, the 2 supports and the carry, these guys have played together since January. They played together the entire season last year in Eastern Europe. So, you know, that consistency can help a lot, and we're kind of seeing it a bit here because they're not a team that really shone or stood out a huge amount, but they still were a middle-of-the-pack team in that season too.
Yeah. Did they only change the mid laner, by the way, or I know Melis was with them, right?
Yeah, that was their off laner who changed, and then they changed their mid laner as well. Young G was playing on Hellraisers, I think, for a lot of last year. Here come NaVi, poking their way out. Want to play around their ward with the Aegis expiring. They're thinking, you know, that's when you fight, right? Aegis goes down, but even last time we saw, Aegis may be out of the picture, but that doesn't instantly mean things are going to go well for you.
You're pretty much trying to crawl out of your base somehow at this point, right? They lost the Aegis and you're taking these baby steps. Let's take this closest cliff that's easy to defend, get this triangle of Ancients back to our side, and then perhaps take a team fight elsewhere.
And they find Ducalis. You mentioned the Eye is going to be the #1 target. He's the one whose positioning matters the most. And he has buyback, so even if you manage to jump him and kill him, it may just be a situation where you overcommit on that 1 kill and they turn it around. It just feels like PuckChamp read everything NaVi do. Like, NaVi poke their noses out, get that ward down, try and force a fight, and PuckChamp don't take the bait. They're playing so patiently.
They don't take the bait, but at the same time, when you think about what NaVi is doing, like, they don't truly have a lot of options. That's the problem. At least I'm not seeing them. And that might be the problem.
They got the Doom again.
Yep.
No,
I'm gonna be certain here. That is the problem. They're thinking the way I'm thinking. That's the boomer thoughts. You know, the old school ones. They need some fresh ideas about how to, like, go back into this game.
Yep. They've got a few boomers too many, perhaps. As is, you know, that's really been the discussion around NaVi. All these Eastern European teams, young blood. So many of these teams have this young blood, these players who maybe you hadn't heard of a couple of years ago. Team Spirit obviously being the big name who won TI, and here NaVi is, to a large extent, recycling the same players that we've seen in Eastern Europe. Some who've had great success if you look at Solo and No One on VP, but it's been some time since they've had that success.
Yeah, some of these players even stopped playing Dota in a while, so turned back to streaming. If I'm correct, Aloha Dance wasn't even playing for a long time, and maybe that's something that we have to think about too. It does take a little bit to go back into your true form.
Yep. And definitely the potential is there when you look at these players and what they've, you know, achieved in the past. So I don't look at like, okay, he was a streamer for a while. If anything, you know, that means he's hungry. He's hungry to come back and prove himself again.
Oh, if he 100%.
You know, as Kat put on the panel, you know, he had options. If he wanted to, he could make just as much money or maybe more just being a full-time streamer, but he wanted to play competitive Dota.
Yeah. that does make a lot of sense because he was definitely having a good time with his streams and also just being a panelist in CIS. So. That fire just never dies. I'm not sure about you, but for me at least, it doesn't matter just how much. Like today, I caught myself thinking, like, if I tried really hard enough, you know, maybe it's possible. It just never dies.
Yep. Especially in some regions, more possible than others to maybe make it into Division 2.
Yeah, that's true as well.
Eastern Europe pretty competitive, I gotta say, even in down in Division 2.
Yeah, in some regions, even Kyle can make it. So
yeah, he can. There's hope for all of us. Blink, Rob, Malik, he's found the Snapfire. Aloha dances. Well, he's been left alone. And blinking in is Young G with the Doom. He's looking for a target. He knows V-Tune has the Lincoln, so he's holding his breath for now. Thinks about a Doom onto the Ember, who is going to go for the TP out. Can't Doom him with the Lincoln still there. They'll get the supports instead. Not the targets they were hoping for, but at the end of the day, it's win's a win. PuckChamp get 2 supports. They'll happily take that. Maybe wait for next Roshan, and maybe even hunt down this Tide.
He's again in the same, kind of the same position.
Yeah. Didn't even try and juke. He just gushed a wave and.
I actually think if he gushed and instantly TP'd, he'd be out. They had no stomps.
Yeah.
Young G was way too far away. Same goes for Beastmaster. But sometimes you just want that one extra wave, and it's always that one extra wave that gets you. And there's a Spell Prism on Beastmaster. Spell Prism, Hex, Roar.
Oof.
When he catches you, you're done.
And that says a lot when he's taking it over like a Doomable hero, so he's prioritizing his cooldowns. Having the Hex and the items to go with it as well. Yep. And yeah, full control of this game and of the map for going PuckChamp's way. And they're already up 1-0, so this would secure another 2-0. I feel like we've almost exclusively been seeing 2-0s.
Yep, with me for sure so far, at least 100%, if this game goes that way too. Which, really, it looks that way. Unless NaVi really do something magical.
What they got coming out here? It's an Aghanim Scepter for Snapfire. So they've got the Gobble Up. Maybe there's some magical plays they can make with that. I'm not sure.
I really don't see it. It's neat, I guess. You can throw in Tide, but if anything, it just gives them more time to react. I like this from PuckChamp. Look, they went for Rush, but then smoked up afterwards. Will they just go back into the pit?
They're going to see Solo at least. That's a free Bane kill. And it's like NaVi, they poke their noses out, Solo leading the way, and the second Solo dies, everyone's like, okay, run away. Let Solo die.
Yeah, he has a buyback if he has to contest this Rush, but I don't think that's happening. It just bought them some more time.
Another Trickster cloak on this Razor. 4.7k health. Well, a bit less now with some items being backpacked.
Is he taking the Axe? Probably,
He's taking something. He's got 2 empty slots. He's taken Aegis and Axe.
Aghanims, yeah. The cheese goes to Io, I believe. Most likely, yep. And now you're... If you had problems killing him before, maybe once, twice, very unlikely. You have to find a way, if you're NaVi, you have to find a way to eliminate Io. But the problem is, everything that I'm saying feels kind of desperate because they all have buybacks too, most of them at least. So even if you kill the Wisp, he's going to relocate back in or TP back in on the outpost.
And there's just so many, like he's got an Aeon Disc of all things, so without a way to dispel that, killing him through that is going to be very tricky.
Double Refresher maybe? Double, sorry, Ravage?
Yep. Oh, Razor on the front lines with the Ags is using that Eye of the Storm to push. Not popping the second one yet, wants the double BKB as well. And Io just playing a little bit cautiously further back. They get the Roar on the side lanes, they found Solo's Bane, they're going to pick him off, force a buyback, and now they've got the Doom out on the Tide. No Ravage for you, and he's got no buyback. He bought out the Refresher, so no Ravages at all to defend with. That's pretty disastrous for NaVi, who are going to just watch Krillat take their base. Has the second Eye of the Storm going.
That's still refresher used on Razor, so he's going to have the BKB up again. Just goes back for the tier 3 on the bottom lane for the mega creeps.
Won't have the Eye of the Storm though. And going for the attack speed, but the talent at 25 though, he pushes and hits pretty damn hard and fast. Ember going in on the back lines. He's going to find this Disruptor. Oh, Disruptor's still alive. Has the Ag Static Storm. He's just hoping he can get it, and he's got the glimpse onto the Ember. Ember going to get caught on the back lines. Meanwhile, Razor charging forward with the backup from Malik. They're just absolutely overrunning Na'Vi. Ember dies, and with that, Na'Vi, their hopes and chances to win game number 2 are disappearing quickly. Aloha Dance says Aloha one last time, it looks like.
I feel like what Ember was doing there to go into the backline skill of Disruptor, it's the right thing. You have to get those supports, but a bit too late. He actually did... did you see how Disruptor died in the end?
I didn't. I was watching the other fight, yeah.
The important fight.
Okay. One last Ravage, maybe 2 last Ravage. He has the Refresher. General gets hexed up for a second. He's looking for something, a Disruptor. The Disruptor who did, I believe, just buy back. So if they kill him a second time, it is a dieback. But the big problem is the Razor. He pops the Satanic.
GG.
He's still alive, and GG is called. Na'Vi.
Disruptor glimpsed Ember back in.
Yeah, I saw
he
that
used
part.
Static Storm. Yeah, he static stormed him. Ember got doomed, but then the item passively killed him. What's the name? Stormcrafter, right?
Oh yeah,
The neutral. Yeah, the one last zap on the Disruptor.
Yeah, I thought Disruptor was gonna live. He kind of clutched it there, and then I guess okay. Well, I don't think he's gonna mind dying there. As they, more importantly, they get the 2-0 win. And realistically, PuckChamp's a team I looked at and thought, okay, they might, survive and be like another middle of the pack team, but I didn't expect them to come out and just 2-0 Na'Vi so convincingly.
Yeah, I definitely didn't expect that as well. Maybe Na'Vi could have banned out the Razor in the second game and played something different, right? Because I've seen this in DPC seasons before as well. You let the team always pick what they are best at, and it doesn't matter if it's the middle of the pack or bottom of the pack team, they will take you. Now, I'm not saying that PuckChamp is any weaker than Na'Vi. On the contrary, I think they're really good. Plus, they had what they practiced and what they're best at.
Well, something that might help future opponents of PuckChamp. It's like, okay, that's their main strat, maybe just something you want to ban. But for Na'Vi, they got to go back to the strat books and also just maybe look at some of their gameplay. A couple, these early Roche fights not going their way. Definitely room for improvement, as we'll see if Na'Vi can bounce back later in the DPC. But before we get there, we've got to break down what happened for all of today and get ourselves ready for, what's coming up. We've got lots of DPC action, and the panel will tell you what's what as we head to a break and then go back there.
Hello and welcome back to the panel. We're here. We're the most expert panel. We have analysts that are experts in all positions. Open,
What's up?
closed.
Thanks.
Hello, guys.
How
How you doing?
Hey.
Shippo, you seem pretty comfortable. Is
Yeah.
there anything you'd like to say?
Sure, yeah, no, I'm just enjoying life on the panel. You know how it be with my good friend Capcast. We're just, we really enjoyed that 2-0. It was really nice. Na'Vi proving they're just not with it still after another roster change.
I feel like you've become more flamey ever since you've been sitting that way.
That's my presence on the couch. I have that effect on people.
Okay,
Word up, guys. Word up.
Oh, listen, I'll give you the chance to really flame. All right, because game 2, another Razor. This time even with an Aghanim Scepter. So game 1 wasn't a fluke. No Youngji Invoker needed here.
Yeah, okay.
Whatsoever.
You know what?
Razor wins again, wins his series 2-0.
Okay, look at that net worth on screen right now. Wow, I see Doom number 1 net worth, and the Beastmaster number 2 net worth. Razor's not even third. He's not even third. He's just actually being carried by Doom.
And yet, still not having the top net worth, but has the biggest impact. And also the only two
Is that how you, like,
one position Razor both games, right?
Okay, bro.
So Razor, really good, right? I have to be right. Either that or Na'Vi is the hottest garbage and deserves to be relegated. Which one is it, Sheep?
No.
Am I right?
I don't.
And Razor's carry is super legit? Or is Na'Vi garbage? Which one is it?
Sheep.
Whoa!
I'm kidding.
You really don't want to agree with me that badly, huh?
Capcast, you are the greatest analyst to have ever lived. You're so right. Razor is the most banging banging hero I've ever seen. They really just first phased that hero twice in a row and won both games. Not only did they win both games, they stomped.
There's a little bit of A, little bit of B, right? Because there was a couple initiations we did see where, well, you were commenting this, Sheepo, where they could have gone on the Razor or the IO and killed the IO, and they chose instead try to kill the Razor, and lo and behold, Mech heals him back to full HP.
Can I be an actual analyst for a second?
Go ahead. I mean, I thought that's what you're doing the whole time.
Yeah, no. So I actually think Navi played.
What they
Shut
hired
up,
you
Cap.
for.
It's my time to speak. So first of all, I think Navi actually played the start of the game pretty well. They had some really aggressive wards down the whole time. So like during the first 10 minutes, they had like a deep ward in the enemy jungle. They had a deep ward like kind of around enemy triangle-ish area, and they played off it. They actually made a proper effort to like move their hero's bot, take the enemy safe lane tower, and start to create pressure on the map. After that, they started doing like jungle invading. They went into the enemy triangle. They had like 3 wards in like a triangle around the triangle. It was very meta. And they made plays off that. And then, you know, it just went downhill. They just started losing
But
fights.
why?
Why? You want me to actually analyze that?
Yeah, of course. That's why I picked.
Oh, no, that was all I had. No, I will point out that fight at the Roche pit was pretty terrible. Cap was getting so excited. This man's like comatose on the sofa, and he just like stands there. He's like, "Yo, they're doing a reverse Roche throw!" Like we really thought that.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to happen again.
They
I
were
thought
gonna kill
Navi was actually going to be able to walk into the Roshan pit, ironically, the same way PuckChamp did. But PuckChamp, they learned from that experience in game 1, and they managed to hold off on that play off of a super sick buyback, and I believe relocate in from the Razor. So they basically were like, yeah, you can catch us in the Roshan pit, but we've got 7 heroes and you've got 5, so you're gonna run out. And just having that mindset of like knowing that you've got the extra life to be able to bring in, I would bet they had that in mind for that Roshan play, and I think that's just really smart. That's just smart Dota.
I like the perspective because it's about congratulating the winners, not so much attacking Navi. So let's talk to the winner specifically as we have him in for an interview. It's the offlaner from PuckChamp, Malik. Hello, buddy. How are you doing?
Hello. Nice. Thank you.
Yeah, lovely to have you here. You're the newest addition to PuckChamp. So my first question is, how have you been fitting into the team?
It was quite nice. Like my teammates said like me, and it was like easy to communicate and find each other's what purpose.
Can I ask you what's on the whiteboard back there? I see art style man, don't ban techies.
Who drew that?
What is that about?
Who drew that?
Yeah. This is true by Jean, our manager. Like we know that they hating our touches, and we take that. And this, like don't ban touches, touch switch, our combos.
That's beautiful. I wanted to ask you about the game. So going into game 2, you guys had that moment at Roshan. Navi smoked on you, and it was kind of a rough fight. You guys bought back on the Razor, and were able to bring him back in. Was that something you guys talked about before you did Roshan?
Yeah, we like preparing for. We know that about the coming snow, and we're like, who have buyback is gonna stay first and stuff. And we also like dived too much for the vision. It was like, but we knew that we have buyback and we're gonna fight with it. It's like the early ravage, only one ravage, and that's it. If we buyback, we get Roshan.
Yeah, that's good.
How did you feel the strength of the IO Razor was in that game? Did you have it planned specifically for Navi, or is it just something you're trying out right now in their first match?
We practice it a lot. Like it's like good heroes. So we have good feelings with him, and Razor conflict on mid, on offlane, and carry. It's like flexible when you have first pick. It's like very easy to try.
So can you confirm for me that Razor carry is actually legit? It's good?
This game, because we saw their lane, we see tight and snap. We knew that about they cannot flex it, and it's like very perfect lane for him. Maybe some lucky moment in game. Laser back. That's like quite easy game.
Okay, thank you for the insight, Malik. We loved having you here, and we hope to have you here again. Good luck in the rest of your matches, and congratulations for your win.
Thank you.
A little bit hard to hear, but I'm fairly certain.
Yeah.
Yes, they had the buyback plan. That
Yes.
I think he said that that they were going to have like, who has buyback? You're going to be the one to break the smoke. So even more so than just planning out like the fact that they do have buybacks, but who's going to tank the smoke yank that's coming in, and also Razor's gonna make a legit hero when Cap is super right.
I'll kill you.
Yeah, they were doing the Russia interview as well, by the way. It wasn't just
Yeah, yeah.
That's what you guys were hearing, so don't worry too much about it. We at least got to hear part of it, and you know, if you watch the VOD and you train your ears well, you might be able to hear some really good insight.
That's what my days off are for. I'm gonna go real hard on translating that one.
No, well, you could just listen to the English one. You don't have to listen to the Russian one. Okay. Here are the standings at the end.
I meant the English one.
Here are the standings at the end of the day. We have AS Monaco Gammon winning the first match of the day against Empire 2-0, and then
Yay.
PuckChamp does the exact same thing against NaVi. Once again, they're kryptonite. Well, I mean, I say that now because let's see what NaVi's results are going to be for the rest of the season or the tour.
But you're referencing what happened season 2, right? Where
Yes.
PuckChamp denied NaVi a spot at the major, right?
Yep.
Was that what happened?
And they allowed themselves to stay in upper division thanks to that. So NaVi, a saving grace for PuckChamp. You can also see it that way.
Yep. Oh man, that was a hype series too. I remember that now.
They played so well as well.
Yeah.
That's actually where they took out the IO carry. That was one of the games that they did that series. Yeah, I remember. I hope we get Ducalis, and I want to ask him how it feels to finally play that hero. So.
Yeah, true.
But you saw the matches today. It's our first day of EEU, but there's tons more to come. So we hope you stay tuned. And the best way to do so, of course, is to follow this wonderful channel where all of the English coverage of EEU will be done.
Yeah, we still get a chance to be able to watch the powerhouse of Eastern Europe, the big brand that everybody knows and loves.
Virtus Probe! Whoa! Let's
Team
go!
Spirit, of course, is what I'm talking
Oh,
about. The Polar
yeah,
Bear King is long dead, no longer the apex predator. It's you think about it.
Yeah.
Isn't their logo a dragon?
Yeah,
Team
it's
Spirit.
much better
Yeah,
than
look,
Polar.
Pretty cool.
what's a polar bear to a dragon?
They update their logo. It's great. If you look through their results, you just see like, oh yeah, this one was done at Halloween. It has little bats on the V. It's very cute.
That's cute.
Little vampire bear.
That's wonderful.
Yes,
But-
it's very pleasing to me.
I'm glad, Sheepo. That's all I have for you. So, as we get more matches into EEU, we'll be sure to keep you posted, of course. And you should stay tuned to this channel. I'm sure there's lots of other regions that you guys should be watching as well, mainly SEA and SA maybe. I don't know if you're interested in that in a couple of hours, 3 hours, whatever. Equals channel. Anyway, we're gonna.
That sounded an awful lot like shilling.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. It has nothing to do with me hosting other stuff. Anyway, if we continue for the EEU train, guys, we have managed to see some pretty exciting games. So what was your highlight? If you had to tell someone that they missed one game today, what out of the whole series, what game should they be watching?
That depends. You want to see Navi get trashed, or you
No,
want?
like a good game of Dota. There's no fanships here, Sheepo. I want to hear a good game of Dota.
It's hard. It was like stomps all day. I really liked everything.
Okay.
I
That's a terrible answer.
I'm so sorry. No,
What was the
I
closest game we had today? Was it game 1 of this series, maybe?
was it game 2 of last series? Maybe.
Maybe.
That one was pretty competitive for a while, or am I misremembering? It was
what?
Empire and
Yeah, there was no
there
competitive.
nothing. Was it game this?
Game 2 of this
This
series was
one?
competitive, yeah.
This okay.
The last game we just watched was competitive. The first one was.
Yeah.
Was game 2
Fe-
of the C match? This is a really sad conversation.
We're still getting used to the sleep schedule, so we might be just a little bit
Delirious.
I asked you
behind
too
here
tough
in
a question.
delirious.
I-
But
that's my bad. I'm
what's your favorite part of the day? I don't know. It's been too long.
I like the neon games a lot.
Okay.
They played today, right?
They did play today. All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed it as much as Sheepo did, because we are about to sign off on our crying face. We hope you enjoyed us, guys. Remember to follow the channel, of course. Keep following us tomorrow. We'll be back with more SEA and EEU games, of course, on Beyond the Summit. So take care and have a good night or good day if you live in America like us.